All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 2 of Cinematography Fact or Fiction. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the statement, as cinematographers, your reel is everything. Is that true? What purpose does a reel serve? Who's watching them? Why are they watching them? When are they watching them? What you should include in there? All those things, that's what we're going to be looking at in today's video. So let's get straight into it. All right, so to start off, we're going to have to look at the different types of reels and why they're important. Yes, there are different types. You will probably end up having at least 2 versions of your reel. And for our purposes, we're going to call them a cold reel and a warm reel. And the difference between those two, it sort of comes back to a sales mentality, where the difference between cold leads and warm leads is a cold reel is going to be specifically for people that you've never met, that you've never worked with before, production companies that you've never even heard of at times, people that are just coming to your website or coming to your Vimeo page or wherever it is that you point people to view some of your past work. They're going to be coming to that reel, and they're going to want to see things completely different than a warm reel. A warm reel would be for production companies or directors who you've already worked with before, who may already know you, and they need a reel to sell you onto a job. So if you're doing a beauty ad, or if you're up for a beauty ad, the director of the production company may reach out and say, we like your reel, your cold reel, we really like your reel, but have you done anything in this world? And then you're going to use that warm reel of saying, hey, I've got these these 20 beauty ads that I've shot. I've condensed them down to 2 minutes. Here's the best of that. That will help me get that job, right? So it's a warm lead, completely different than the cold reel. And the cold reel is really the one that I think you've probably seen the most examples of if you go to Vimeo or something like that. They're interest-based. They are trying to spark as much interest in your work as possible to the biggest, broadest audience that you have identified. So the important part about a cold reel is because these people have never met you, they've never worked with you, they don't know anything about you, they've just stumbled onto your website or stumbled onto your reel. You want to pique interest. You want to generate interest in what you want to do. So you don't want to put stuff on there that you don't like doing. If you have nothing but corporate videos underneath your belt and you don't want to do corporate video anymore, you're going to have to come up with more projects or some spec ads or some music videos or something else that you're shooting and put that on your reel. You don't want to be filling it with stuff that you don't want to do, because this is your first introduction to these people. You need to sell them on jobs that you actually want to be doing, because they don't know anything about you. They don't know that you only do corporate stuff. If they see a minute-long reel of music video looking stuff, they're going to say, well, this is a music video person, or this is a short film person, or this is a corporate person if you've got that down. So the cold reel, the thing that is really important, is to put stuff down that you like. And then we have to go to, why are they watching it? Why would these people be coming to your website? They've stumbled across your page for a very specific reason. They probably have a need. They need a cinematographer, or the person that they normally use isn't available, and they're going to try and sell you onto a job, but they just want to see what you can do first. Back in the old days, it was 10 minutes, a montage of stuff that all cut together. You would have scenes from short films or scenes from whatever you had done before, and they would be quite long because people had more time. Here, a random person that is stumbling onto your website, be it a producer or a director or anyone, is not going to sit down for 5 minutes and watch a reel that you've done of these little montage pieces. No, you need to make it as exciting as possible. You want to spark interest. You want to leave them intrigued enough to go, hey, I'd like to see more of what that person can do. Let me reach out, right? Then you have an opportunity to say, okay, they've reached out, they've seen my reel, they know, they like the stuff that's on there. How do I give them more of that so I can get on the job, so I can do more work? The whole purpose of a cold reel is to bring in warm leads. You want to bring in people that, we've seen the reel, we really like it, we want more, right? So it's generating interest. So keep it as short as humanly possible. If you don't have 2 minutes of good stuff, make a minute out of it. If you don't have a minute worth of stuff, you got some work to do, right? You got to get out, you got to shoot some spec stuff, you got to shoot some music video stuff or some short film stuff, and just start to craft a reel together. If you're not getting 3 shots from every job you're doing that you can piece together into a sequence and plop into a reel, you're in trouble. That should be your whole focus when you're starting out, is how do I get this reel together? Because you're not going to have enough jobs to fill up your website with 50 jobs that all look fantastic. That takes years and years and years of work to accumulate something like that you can actually be proud of your website and all of the work that's up there and say, this is, not only is this stuff what I've done, but this is what I want to do. Because that's the kind of stuff you put on your website. You say, I've done this, I want to do more of this, that's why this is up. Right? Your reel is saying, this is the stuff that I want to do. Contact me for this kind of stuff. Completely different goals, completely different things behind that. And that's why you really need to leverage your cold reel as much as possible. So lead with your best stuff. Second number 1, of the video, lead with your best stuff, your best shots, because a person will probably make it through 20 seconds of a reel and they'll know instantly. The people watching now, they're not only looking at the same things that you are looking at. If they're a producer, they're saying, what level has this person worked at? You can instantly tell. You show me a reel, I'll instantly be able to tell you what budget level that person is working with. And then that budget level tells me, okay, what are their management skills? What are their management experience? What's their ordering experience? What's their on-set organization experience? I can tell just from looking at 10 shots in your reel, whatever you lead with, I know, okay, this is the budget level that I'm working with. So that's really important to remember. What are other people looking for? Directors, what are they looking for? They're all gonna be different, but the broadness of the cold reel is just make it as interesting, visually dynamic as possible of stuff that you want to continue to do. And that's the biggest mistake I see people make, is they just fill it with stuff that they've already done that maybe isn't where they want to go, right? The reel is where you want to go. That should be the whole goal behind that. And then the biggest thing to wrap your head around is that you would eventually like to get to a spot where you don't have a reel. Right? That's the ultimate. That's where everyone is chasing. Something tells me that Roger Deakins doesn't need a 5-minute montage of his best shots, right? Because his body of work is so strong, his reputation precedes him, his work precedes him. That's what you want in the end. But to get to that level, you need to get those types of jobs. Then it comes down to what you do with your website, how you structure that website to help sell you along, because you are a subcontractor in a film production. You need to be able to sell yourself into those roles. Make it as easy for production companies and directors and producers to help sell you if you're in the commercial world or even in the narrative world. You have to sell yourself every time. When I did my feature film, I had to sell myself onto the job. Right? You have to say, I've done this in the past, this is what I'm capable of doing, and this is what I would like to do in the future. This is just a side note. I'll probably do a separate video on this, but the other thing is footage. If you are doing those 3-minute corporate ads, chances are you shot 2 hours worth of stuff. And in there has to be a few sequences that look okay, right? Or else you're not doing your job right. You got to be thinking when you're on those bad ads, yeah, shoot everything when you're starting out, but be thinking professionally. Be thinking, how can I use this? How can I leverage this footage to help me get on bigger jobs, on better jobs, on jobs that I'm more interested in? How can I use, okay, I've got this little 3-shot sequence, update the reel. And you should be, especially when you're starting out, it gets harder as you've been in the business longer and longer, but you should be updating your reel as soon as you're done with a project. Give me your newest stuff, because that should be your best stuff. Update it as fast as you can. Get as much of that footage as you can, because even though it may not be included in the 3-minute long corporate video, something in that 2 hours that you shot is good. So just try and, communicate with productions, try and get access to that footage, and then you can start to build your reel out that way. So yes, if you are a cinematographer, absolutely when you're starting out, you need a reel. It has to generate interest, it has to be exciting, it has to be visually stimulating, and it has to be the stuff that you want to do. That's the most important. Really, this is your opportunity to tell some random stranger, this is the kind of stuff that I do, this is what I want to do, this is the level that I can be trusted at, and then that warm reel just brings it all home. So hopefully that just gives you my advice on whether or not you need a reel. I mean, I still have one. I've been doing this a long time and I still have one, and it's not very good, and I haven't updated it in years. So I'll probably have to take my own advice. Anyway, that is going to do it for this video. If you like it, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.